we're going to talk about how to play three-note G7 and C chords. These are the first two chords that we are going to use for our songs, and how we know to read these is by using what's called a chord chart. A chord chart is very useful and can teach you how to play any chord you want to on the guitar as long as you know how to read them. So what we have here is this is the top portion of the guitar. So this is the nut here, and then this is the first part of the neck. So this is the first fret, second fret, third fret. These lines are the fret wires, and then these lines going up and down are the strings. We have 6 strings on the guitar, of course, so this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And remember, the first string, or string number 1, is the highest sounding string. Even though it's closest to the ground, when you hold the guitar in normal position, we still call it the highest string because we're not concerned about the height of the string as relation to the ground, but we're talking about the pitch, or how high the sound is. Alright, so on top of the nut we have some symbols. These are X's, we have a couple of zeros and a 1. We put X's over the strings that we're not going to play. So for this particular version of the G7 chord, we are not going to play strings number 6, 5, or 4. Okay? We're going to play 1, 2, and 3. The third string we're going to play, it shows as a 0, so that means we're going to play the string open, meaning we're not going to put any fingers on the frets. Second string as well, we're going to play it without putting any fingers on the frets. Now, the first string, we're going to put our finger where the dot is, so that's in the first fret. The 1 tells us that we are to use the first finger on the left hand, and that is the index finger. So we're going to put our index finger on string number 1 on the first fret, and we're going to strum the first, second, and third string, or third, second, and first strings. Okay, and that is how you play a three-note G7 chord. Okay, turning the page, now we have a C chord. So this is a three-note chord as well. So again, we X over strings number 6, 5, and 4 because we're not going to play them. The third string we're going to play open again. The second string, now we're going to put our first finger on the first fret. That's our index finger on the left hand. And then the first string we're going to play open. Okay, so we're going to strum these 3 strings and put our finger here. Okay, now let's take a look at what that will look like on the guitar. Okay, if you remember the G7 chord, we're going to put our finger here. This is the first string, first fret, and I'm using my index finger for that. I'm going to strum 3 strings. And then the C chord, I'm just going to take that finger and move it to the second string. Okay, so C chord, G7, C chord. Okay, now this is what these chords look like at a distance. So starting with the G7 chord, if you remember, we're playing open third string, open second string, and then our index finger on the left hand goes right on the first fret. And then we're going to strum with a downward motion, either using your thumb or with a pick. We're going to strum these 3 strings, and it sounds like this. Okay, that's a three-note G7 chord. Now moving to the C chord, we're going to pick up that finger, and we're going to put it on the second string. So we have open third string, first fret on the second string, open first string. And notice my finger is very rounded. When I play, I'm pressing it like this using the very tip of my finger so that I'm only touching that one string. I don't want to touch any of the other strings. Okay, and again, in a downward motion, we're going to strum 3 strings, and that's what your three-note C chord sounds like. So again, G7 and C.